We live. Mic check, mic check. All right, welcome to Football Focus. We talk about news, sports. Oh, gotta check it. That's right. We live. Mic check, mic check. Oh, I'm hearing myself. All right, welcome to Football Focus. Turn it off. So yeah, I'm actually gonna try things differently. Just try to do live videos. The editing thing isn't really for me. So I updates as far as the Premier League, or whether that be any type of soccer content really at all. So, yeah, we're just gonna do a match day recap over the weekend. I did one last week, and yeah, I'm not probably gonna touch over it as decisive as last time, but yeah, let's get it going. But yes, this is football focus. Okay, we talk about soccer, sports, football analysis mainly, anything that has to do with the beautiful game that we love to watch. So normally I have green screen, and maybe I'll get a green screen in the future, depending on how it works. But yeah, I want to try the live streaming thing, and I feel that the best way to have these conversations is chatting with each other, talking with each other, and kind of interchanging conversation, or at least that's the way I see it the most exciting. So for now, until someone or some people start to join the live, we will just, chat to ourselves, kind of like before, but leave all the editing out to make it a little more easier. So we'll start off with the first game, and if you're someone that knows me, I mean, I'm a fan of Manchester United, so it was a tough one to watch. Tough one to watch. We started off well-ish, though. We've always had a hard time with Brighton for many years. I know that they had De Zerbi before, so that could be a reason why. Of course, he was a great manager, and Ten Hag is just not. He's not the best quality out there, especially that we can get. So, the match started. Danny Welbeck got the first goal. I'm not really here to place blame because it happens, right? In the small moments in time. But you know, he's been decent. I of course don't like him in the past, but he's been decent so far. So I'll say that he did a decent job. That time, yeah, he missed his mark, but overall, I mean, you can't just say that like the whole thing was his fault in the build up. We got the equalizer, which Ahmad, thank goodness he got the goal because it looks like if he can, if he were going to continue to not play well as Ten Hag wants, or maybe not getting a goal or assist per game, because I mean that's kind of what people are wanting. That's what people are only accepting as, oh, someone's good. If someone doesn't have a goal or an assist in a game, they're not good. But those are only people that are not playing soccer at a high level, or football at a high level, because obviously that many times the best player on the pitch or on the field doesn't score. Yes, someone has to score to win the games, of course, but many times it can be the defenders, it can be the midfielders, key passes, just the demonstration of controlling the game. So I feel like he does a really good job while he's out there. I don't think that anyone else should start above him, especially if you were to consider the two, like Rashford. I mean, like when you look at the starting lineup, it's just, I don't understand why Mount and Fernandez are in the same team. And I don't know if it's, what would be the word? I don't know if, Ten Hag is just retarded, or what, because it's not going to flow. Mount, Fernandez, and Rashford in the same team. They're just three players that they're not controlling the ball that well as far as the interlock play. And it's frustrating to see that's the starting lineup when obviously Rashford and Mount, I mean, obviously Sancho should be in the starting lineup. I mean, if there's anyone out there that thinks I'm wrong, please let me know. And I don't know if they don't get along, but we've obviously seen Sancho play in the Champions League final last year, so he can play at the highest level on teams you can say are lower quality as far as the players on the field than Manchester United. Would you say that Borussia Dortmund's team is better than Manchester United's team on paper? I personally wouldn't, but still, the idea here is Mount definitely shouldn't be starting. Sancho should definitely be the 10, or Diallo should be the 10. Whatever, they can interchange, but they Mount should not be playing. Rashford should not be playing. Fernandez, fair enough, he can play, right? But I don't understand why the two play. The defense is what it is, you know what I mean? I guess until Delict gets healthier or gets in the match flow, match fit, Maguire's going to be in there. But I feel like as soon as uh, Delict gets going, I think that it should secure us up. But at the end of the day, it's the damn manager. He's just terrible. He's terrible. I mean, like the stats will, yeah, the fact that we had more possession, it just doesn't even matter. The passes and the interlock and the system that we have is just terrible. Or at least the players that he's choosing in the positions are terrible. At least in my opinion. Of course, I'm just a YouTuber, you know what I'm saying? So what do I truly know? Maybe it's got, maybe there's more details in there that we just don't know about, but it is something that, it's really sad to see. And I really wish better things for Manchester United, especially just from where we have come from. I know it's been a while, but just back when I grew up watching the team, we just weren't this shit. And now it's sometimes hard to watch, especially when you're waking up early for these games. But yeah, Brighton, they got the goal at the end. It isn't a surprise, I'll be honest. So yeah, I think Ten Hag is probably not going to last long unless he gets, unless the players bail him out. We're going to get these wins here and there when we're not expecting it, and then we're playing up, every single time that we're playing against the team that we should beat, it's going to be a struggle. At least that's how I feel from what we demonstrated yesterday, especially in away games. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, especially Manchester United fans. I understand Brighton is not a bad team, and I know that I said this before in the beginning for my predictions for the Premier League that I don't feel that Brighton is should be slept on. Even though they lost to Zerbi, they're still a good team. You know what I mean? They're still going to have that flow and experience playing with each other. So wasn't a surprise, and I don't know how long Ten Hag will last. I'm not saying I'm Ten Hag out already again, but it just doesn't look like it's going to be that much of a inviting season, if I have to say so myself. So yeah, let's go into the other games real quick. We had Tottenham, they won 4-0 over Everton. Everton is, boy, they're going to struggle this year. I really think they're going to struggle. I just think they have a lot of players there that have been there for a long time and um, you know, way past their peak. But yeah, they smoked Everton. Excuse me. Then you had West Ham Crystal Palace. Again, Crystal Palace is lacking the attacking threat after Olise's gone, and it doesn't seem like they really tried to invest in anything worth that at all, and they're struggling to create chances. Southampton, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest still has a bunch of those players, you know what I mean? So if they can get cohesive, I can definitely see that being I can definitely see them staying up again, especially over Crystal Palace and Everton, the way that the first two games have gone. Fulham, Leicester City. Fulham, Leicester City. I think who scored in that game? Yeah, I like Smith Rowe. I like Smith Rowe. Yeah, he may not have been the type of player people want him to be, but these are the types of players that are lacking in the sport nowadays. The creative players who might not score, but they just can unlock the defense at any given time, and you just never know what you're going to get. And it's unfortunate that that's going away. Then we had Manchester City, Ipswich Town. That was Erling Haaland. Sometimes I think he's poor, and I don't think that the once the team sits. How can I explain it? Because most teams, they pretty much all sit behind the ball against Man City, but as long as they're not letting crosses just come in and come in, I feel like sometimes Holland is kind of useless. Not useless, but he's not as dominant as he is, but when he's allowed the space to run on through balls, he's freaking his finishing is class, and you can see the difference if you watch any other striker or many other strikers in the Premier League. They are very rash or very quick to just hit the ball, not looking power shot it. And when you watch Holland finish, I feel like there's choices in his finishes. Like I feel like it's happening. You're seeing him on a breakaway or you're seeing him through on goal. And most strikers would just pound it into the net. And he, I feel like, always makes a decisive choice of what to do. And the two goals, or the two goals, they were like chips, you know. So instead of he had beaten the keeper, instead of just passing it along the ground, he chipped it. You know what I mean? And that kind of made it awkward. Excuse me. That kind of made it awkward for the defender. And I just felt like that was like a very specific choice in the way he finished, and I applaud that. I think Manchester City, especially now that they got Gundogan back, I feel like they're going to be unstoppable. I don't see anyone testing them. They're smoking teams like it's not an issue. Like they're getting scored on, and they're just okay. You know, it happens. People get scored on, but we'll get three or four on you. And I may be Chelsea, and I don't, and not because Chelsea has the defense for it, but they have the offense for it. So if Chelsea can somehow be on the opposing front and somehow, oh, I guess I won't say that they probably wouldn't contain the possession in the game like that. But I could definitely see them being a threat at any time they go on the break with the players that they have at their hands. But yeah, they smoked Ipswich Town's Man City, so they're uh, they're on their way. They're on their way, and they're not even the strongest outfit yet. But they've got some ballers on their team. Let's see that lineup actually. Yeah, man. Yeah, Luis Savio. Savio's a baller, and Kovacic. It's fitting. It's fitting now. The with Chelsea, they did not allow all those players to try to gel together and get better as a whole. So it's unfortunate that he seemed maybe not that good of a player out there. I wonder what Chelsea's supporters would have to say, um, because I think that I think he's a baller, and it's showing now that he's on a team that is controlling okay, sure, they have the ball most of the time, but you know he can break. I mean, nothing really. It seems like he's never really scared out there, and he always knows what to do when he's on the ball. Yeah, I see Ipswich down probably going down. Um, they're just they're lacking they're lacking it. That's what I'll say. Okay, next game. Yeah, we had Aston Villa, Arsenal. You know, hey, Emery goes against his old team. Um, and it is what it is. Aston Villa, they had many chances, okay? They had many chances to beat Arsenal, and they just did not capitalize. You know, Ali Watkins, he's a tough one. He's a tough one because I don't really care for that style of player, but he can get you goals, but it's not pretty in the eyes, right? And when it counts, it seems like he needs four or five chances to score, which, I mean, that is what it is. I'm not saying that he's not good, but you can see the difference. Arsenal, they finally get a few, you know, lucky chances as Aston Villa got, and they scored them. And that's really the difference in this game. Now, as an Arsenal fan, I still would be pretty positive. I think Arsenal is playing pretty well as far as the resiliency, right? They're not like breaking down. Of course, it's only two games in the season, but they just seem like they're going to keep coming, and they seem like they're going to get the job done. And I honestly only see Arsenal probably having trouble with, you know, Chelsea, maybe, or, you know, Chelsea, Man City, maybe Liverpool, and maybe United. I don't know. You know, it's one of those ones where when it's the big lights, pressure, it probably can sometimes get to a player. Yeah. Arsenal won that game, got the two goals, Trossard. I feel like Trossard should be starting over Martinelli. I guess not over Saka, but I could definitely see Trossard starting over Martinelli and more or less being instead of the impact player, the starting player. But I can see it, man, as I can see that thought process from Arteta because hey, if you do have a player that is a very good player coming off the bench, it can change the game after with 20 minutes to go, which in many cases that's the case with Trossard. So that's a plan that works. As Trossard, I wouldn't be happy, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's starting to work out as long as maybe he explains that to him. Who knows? One of the only draws, one of the only draws of the weekend. Is it the only draw of the weekend? Wow, yeah. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Boring game. Boring game. That one I was really just in and out of it. Thought Bournemouth was going to get that in the end, and I think there was some controversy. I can't remember. Was it this? Was it this game? Oh my God! It was this game. Yes, it was this game. The handball. Let me see if I can find that on Twitter. That was a harsh call for sure. That was a harsh call. Yeah. See, was it a handball? I don't want to get the video. Do they have photo at all? Oh, too many videos. Too many videos. Yeah, just probably should have pulled some images. It's a tough one. I mean, of course, it's going to be tough to see since we're not looking on video. But if you guys are watching, that's the harshest call to do. And I feel like VAR. Now we haven't had as many controversies as before, so that's well, from what it seems like. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. But man, it's a tough one when you see certain things like this given or disallowed. I don't think it was a handball. I feel like it came off the Newcastle's player, but it is what it is. They make the decisions. I definitely feel that there has to be something that I don't want to say match fixing, but match fixing. I mean, geez, to control the narrative still to a degree if you can, and I think that's what VAR does 100%, at least from what I've seen. Because for you to call that back, I don't know, man. It did not, and especially it definitely wasn't intentional. I guess maybe it was intentional. You should never know, I guess. But yeah, that was one of the harsh calls that happened over the weekend. But yeah, let's move on to one of the more exciting games. Well, let's do Liverpool versus Brentford. Liverpool, they came through, man. Anytime they get a solid chance, they're pretty much scoring. That's what it seems like. Now, they I don't know. I've heard of like there might be some controversy going on in the background because the new manager and who he's picking in the games. But yeah, they got the win over Brentford, and which you would expect 2-0. But let's get on to Chelsea, man. Chelsea versus Wolves. Okay, yes, it's Wolves, people. It's Wolves. So Wolves struggling there, but obviously they've lost what pretty much all their good players since they've been in the Premier League. So now they're getting down to the bottom, but they still keep finding these gems. I don't know where they're finding these players. Some of them, forget that. Yeah, Cunha. I like him. I think he's. I mean, it looks like every time they're scoring, he's involved. But they still got smoked, man. They got smoked by Chelsea. Chelsea came through, man. and dominated them as far as the possession and as far as quality of the finishes. Made it look easy with goals from Jackson, Palmer. Palmer actually had 2 assists or either 3 assists. And then, guess who on their debut again? Yao Felix. Wild. What a wild team. And if I was a Chelsea supporter, I'd be dancing over the moon right now. I mean, you guys got all the players in the world. Now, sure, you might get fined in a couple years, so you better buy some players as far as defenders pretty soon and maybe a goalkeeper. But other than that, you guys are golden. If this guy can get this player or get this team to start to gel, I think Cole Palmer should definitely, for the rest of the year, be just strictly a number 10 and not play in the wide positions. But again, who am I? Enzo, I don't think is a 10. But again, who am I? But yeah, that was a very, very good game to watch. The Premier League this year is very exciting. I like the way Chelsea's starting to turn out. I'm sure that, they're going to have some maybe funny losses maybe here and there, but they have all the firepower in the world to continue. And if they're smoking teams like this, they're definitely going to be a team that I enjoy watching, especially throughout this year. I mean, every year I feel like the Premier League gets closer and closer, but this year it's a little different. I definitely feel maybe the bottom teams got closer, but the top teams definitely, well, not Manchester United, but Chelsea, Man City. We'll wait to say Liverpool, but they're definitely taking a step forward and trying to get something done. But man, quick recap. Quick recap. What do we got next weekend? What do we got next weekend? Arsenal Brighton. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call Arsenal beating them. Since we lost, I think Arsenal is gonna come through and smoke them. 2-0. Wolves versus Nottingham Forest. I'm gonna say Nottingham Forest is gonna get that win. Leicester City versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa. We'll call that. Ipswich Town, Fulham. Ooh, it's going to be a dicey one, but Fulham's probably going to get the win. Maybe a draw. Brentford versus Southampton. Yeah, these are always dicey ones. It's like 2-1, one of them. I'm going to say Brentford's going to get the win since they lost last weekend. Everton, I'm going to say Everton's going to lose again. Man City, whoever they play, they're going to win. Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Well, they're going to smoke them too because Crystal Palace can't score. Newcastle, Tottenham. I think Newcastle's going to get the win. Manchester United, Liverpool. I think Liverpool's going to win. And yeah, we will see how that goes. We're going to try to do some other shows here and there in between the week. But other than that, yeah, this is a quick recap. Let me know your thoughts on the Premier League. Who was your team of the weekend? What do you feel is going to happen as far as next weekend predictions? I think we have some weekday games as well. Once the 31st. Maybe some cup games during the week. So maybe we'll chat about those. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think about this type of template. You rather me go back to the green screen again? This is Football Focus. Okay, we talk about sports, mainly soccer, and we just give our perspective of what is going on, at least the American perspective, because a lot of people are chatting about soccer. But if you are someone out there that also is doing these live streams and you want to chat on and join in for the conversation, hey, shoot me an email. Let me know, man. Leave a comment, and I'd love to get you on and have a discussion together. But again, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Okay, later.